The desert night was unnaturally quiet when the streak of light tore across the sky. Elias Reeves stood on his porch, coffee forgotten in his hand, as he tracked the object's descent. It wasn't a meteor, its trajectory was too controlled, too deliberate. After 15 years with NASA, he knew the difference between natural phenomena and something else entirely. "That's not one of ours," he murmured. Setting down his mug and grabbing his truck keys, the impact site was easier to find than he expected, a glowing furrow carved into the sand about 3 miles from his property. Elias parked at a distance, caution overriding curiosity. Steam rose from the small craft, no larger than a compact car half buried in the earth. Its metallic surface reflected iridescent patterns unlike any alloy he'd encountered as he approached. A section of the vessel slid open with a pneumatic hiss. Elias froze, his heart pounding in his chest. A slender figure stumbled out, collapsing onto the sand. In the moonlight, her skin gleamed a soft purple, luminescent against the dark desert floor. Her hair flowed like liquid silver down her back. She wore what appeared to be a form-fitting bodysuit of material that shifted colors with her movements. She looked up at him, eyes large and almond-shaped, their irises a startling amber flecked with gold. Though clearly alien, her features held a strange, haunting beauty. "Please," she whispered, her voice melodic yet strained. "Help me." Elias hesitated only a moment before rushing forward. As a scientist, every instinct told him to back away, to call authorities. As a human being, he couldn't leave her injured in the dirt. "Can you understand me?" he asked, kneeling beside her. She nodded weakly. "Your language. I learned it. From your transmissions." A gash across her forehead leaked silvery fluid. Elias carefully helped her sit up, noting how light she felt despite being nearly his height. "My name is Elias. What's yours?" "Naya," she replied, her eyes constantly scanning the sky. "They will come for me. I cannot go back." "Who's coming for you?" Her fingers gripped his arm with surprising strength. "Please, don't send me away. I can offer you knowledge no human will ever possess, star maps. Technologies your world hasn't dreamed of." Her voice dropped lower. "I have nowhere else to go." In the distance, helicopter rotors thudded against the night air. Government response teams, no doubt. They would take her, study her, treat her as a specimen rather than a person. "Can you walk?" Elias asked. Decision made. Naya nodded, struggling to her feet. Elias supported her weight as they moved toward his truck. The wound on her head seemed to be sealing itself, the silvery substance hardening. "They'll find your craft," he said. "It will dissolve by morning." Emergency protocol. Her words came in short bursts between labored breaths, but they will still track the energy signature. The helicopters grew louder as Elias helped her into the passenger seat. He covered her with a blanket, concealing her alien features. "I have a cabin," he said, starting the engine. "Remote, off-grid. We can hide there until you recover." Naya's amber eyes locked with his. "Why help me? Your kind fears difference." Elias pulled away from the crash site, driving without headlights. "Not all of us," he answered simply. "Sometimes difference is exactly what we need." As they sped across the desert, the night sky blazed with stars, her stars, and for the first time in years, Elias felt truly alive. Dawn broke over the mountains as Elias guided his truck along the narrow dirt road leading to his cabin. The structure stood nestled among pine trees, its weathered wood blending with the natural surroundings. Naya had drifted in and out of consciousness during the journey, her purple skin occasionally pulsing with faint luminescence. "We're here," Elias said softly, touching her shoulder. Naya's eyes fluttered open, those amber irises adjusting to the morning light. "Your dwelling. It's isolated. That's the idea. Government satellites won't easily spot us beneath the tree cover." He helped her from the truck, noting how she studied everything, the texture of bark, the movement of birds, the dew on spider webs, with intense curiosity. Inside the cabin, Elias settled her on the couch while he gathered medical supplies. Though he questioned their effectiveness on her alien physiology, "Your wound," he gestured to her forehead. "Is it healing?" Naya's fingers traced the now sealed injury. My body repairs itself faster than yours. I need only rest and sustenance. Elias prepared a simple meal, unsure what she could consume. To his surprise, she ate eagerly, especially drawn to fruits and honey. Sweet things, she explained, licking her lips. My world has nothing like this. Our nourishment is ... functional. That evening, the shadows lengthened across the cabin floor. Elias found Naya standing by the window, her silhouette outlined by moonlight. The silver bodysuit she'd arrived in had partially dissolved, revealing more of her violet skin beneath. Without a word, he offered her some of his clothes, a soft flannel shirt and cotton pants that hung loose on her slender frame. "Thank you," she said, her voice gaining strength. "Not just for this, but for risking yourself. They're searching for me, aren't they?" Elias nodded, gesturing to his radio scanner. Military frequencies buzzed with coded transmissions about an unidentified atmospheric entry and potential extraterrestrial material. "They won't find your ship now," he said, "but they'll keep looking." Naya moved closer, her movements graceful despite her exhaustion. "On my world, such kindness to strangers is ... uncommon. We're taught caution above compassion. Why did you leave?" Elias asked. Her expression darkened. "I was chosen for a diplomatic mission to neighboring systems. What I discovered about our leader's intentions. ... She shook her head. "I couldn't be part of it. So I became a fugitive." Later that night, with Naya asleep in his bedroom while he took the couch, Elias stared at the ceiling, mind racing. He'd spent his career studying the possibility of extraterrestrial life. And now that life was under his roof, beautiful, intelligent, and as hunted as she was, mysterious. Outside, an owl called into the darkness. Inside, a being from beyond the stars dreamed of a freedom she had never known. A week passed in the mountain sanctuary. Naya regained her strength rapidly, the luminescence of her purple skin growing more vibrant daily. Elias found himself increasingly captivated by her presence, the way she absorbed information with remarkable speed, how she hummed strange melodies when she thought he wasn't listening. One afternoon, as rain drummed against the cabin roof, Naya sat cross-legged before the fireplace, eyes closed in meditation. Elias worked at his desk nearby, reviewing astronomical charts from his NASA days. "You're trying to locate my home system," she said, without opening her eyes. Elias looked up, startled. "How did you, my people, communicate partly through thought?" she explained, amber eyes now open and fixed on him. "I didn't mean to intrude on yours. It happens naturally when I grow closer to someone." Heat rose in Elias's face. "You can read my mind?" "Not exactly." She rose in one fluid motion and approached his desk. "Only impressions, emotions, sometimes images. The stronger my connection to someone, the clearer it becomes." Her fingers brushed his as she reached for the star chart, sending an electric sensation up his arm. Whether alien biology or something more, he couldn't say. "Here," she marked a point in space, "though you'd need better instruments to see it properly." That night, they sat on the porch watching distant lightning illuminate the mountains. Naya wore his flannel shirt, now customized with careful cuts that accommodated her different physiology. Her silver hair shimmered in the intermittent light. "My people believe emotional attachment is weakness," she said softly, "that it clouds judgment and compromises purpose." Elias turned to her. "And what do you believe?" "I'm beginning to think they're wrong about many things." Her voice trembled slightly. "About connection. About other species. About ... freedom." When her hand found his in the darkness, her skin was warm, warmer than a human's and softer than he expected. Their fingers intertwined, purple against tan, alien against human, each crossing boundaries they'd never anticipated. "If they find me," Naya whispered, "your government will view you as a traitor. And if my people come ... She couldn't finish. Elias tightened his grip on her hand. "Then we'll face it together." The storm moved closer, thunder rolling through the valley like a warning. Inside the cabin, they stood facing each other in the dim light, hesitation and desire creating their own kind of electricity. I can offer you what no human woman ever will, Naya said, echoing her first desperate plea but with new meaning. Not just knowledge or technology, something else entirely. Her hands framed his face, those alien eyes searching his. Elias felt her consciousness brushing against his, not invasive, but inviting. Offering a glimpse of her world, her feelings, her truth. When their lips met, it was like touching a star, brilliant, dangerous, and impossible to resist. Her skin glowed faintly where he touched her, responding to emotions in ways human physiology never could. That night, as they discovered each other's differences and similarities beneath the sheets, neither spoke of the dangers closing in from above and below, government teams still combing the desert, or the possibility of pursuers from beyond Earth's atmosphere. For these precious hours existed in a universe of their own making, one where the distance between worlds could be measured in heartbeats rather than light years. Asterisk. 3 weeks into their seclusion, the first warning came with the drone. Elias spotted it through binoculars, a military-grade surveillance device, hovering just beyond the tree line. By nightfall, he had spotted 3 more. They're triangulating our position, he told Naya, as they hastily packed essentials. Someone tracked the energy signature to this region. Naya's face was grim as she helped gather supplies. The weeks in hiding had changed her. Her movements now mimicked human mannerisms, her speech patterns matching his. The silver bodysuit had regenerated partially, now integrated with human clothing in a curious hybrid style. There's something else, she said, pausing to look skyward. Something you can't detect yet. My people. They've entered your solar system. Elias froze. How can you tell? She tapped her temple. The connection grows stronger with proximity. My kind maintain a collective awareness. Not full telepathy, but enough that I can sense their approach. Her amber eyes met his. They're not coming to negotiate, Elias. They're coming to retrieve what they consider their property. They fled at midnight, abandoning the cabin just hours before black helicopters descended upon it. Elias drove westward through back roads and forgotten highways. Naya huddled beside him, her purple skin deliberately dimmed to avoid detection. At a roadside motel outside of Flagstaff, they checked in under false names. The room was sparse, but private. Elias sealed the windows while Naya scanned radio frequencies with her enhanced hearing. They're calling you a person of interest, she said, focusing on a distant transmission. Suspected of harboring an extraterrestrial entity, there's a reward. Elias sat heavily on the bed. His career, his reputation, his freedom all sacrificed in the span of weeks. Yet watching Naya move about the room, those alien eyes filled with concern for him, he couldn't bring himself to regret it. That night, they lay together on the narrow bed, his arm around her waist, her silver hair spread across his chest. Outside, distant sirens wailed. If I surrender, she whispered, they might pardon you. Elias tightened his embrace. That's not an option. Her hand traced patterns on his skin symbols from her, language he'd begun to recognize as terms of affection. My people have technology that could hide us both, take us beyond their reach. But the cost would be leaving Earth forever. Her voice faltered. I cannot ask that of you. Before he could answer, a strange vibration pulsed through the room. The television flickered on by itself, static giving way to geometric patterns Elias recognized as non-human communication. Naya sat upright, her skin pulsing with agitation. They're here, she breathed. Both sides your government's agents are surrounding the motel and my people. ... She gestured at the television. They're scanning for me through your technology. Headlights swept across the parking lot as vehicles pulled in from both directions. Elias peered through the blinds to see men in tactical gear deploying around the building. The bathroom window? He said urgently, grabbing their backpack. It's our only chance, as they squeezed through the narrow opening. The night exploded with light not from the government forces, but from above. A brilliant beam cut through the clouds, illuminating the motel and surrounding area with impossible clarity. No, Naya gasped. They've found me. Hand in hand, they ran toward the desert beyond the motel. Pursued by shouts and the mechanical whir of a craft unlike anything made on Earth, caught between two worlds. Both determined to separate them, they vanished into the darkness together. For as long as the night would allow, dawn broke over the Arizona desert, painting the sandstone formations in shades of crimson and gold. Elias and Naya crouched in the shadow of a rock arch. Watching the skies were sleek. Silver craft not of human design performed search patterns alongside military helicopters in an uneasy joint operation. "They're cooperating," Elias said in disbelief. "Your people and mine?" Naya's expression was bitter. "A temporary alliance to capture us both." After that, she left the sentence unfinished. Their options had dwindled to nearly nothing. The backpack contained a day's worth of water, emergency rations. In Elias's old service, pistol useless against either pursuer, but somehow reassuring in his hand. "There's a research facility 20 miles south," he said. "Studying his GPS, an old colleague works there, someone who might help us." Naya touched his cheek, her fingers slightly cooler than they had been the previous day. "You're becoming dehydrated," she observed. "This environment is too harsh for your physiology." "I'll manage," he insisted, though the desert heat was already taking its toll. They traveled through the day, keeping to ravines and dry riverbeds, moving only when cloud cover obscured them from above. By afternoon, Elias was stumbling, his water nearly gone. Naya supported him, her alien strength proving invaluable. As sunset approached, they reached an outcropping overlooking a vast, empty plateau. In the center stood a single structure, not human-built, but clearly not of Naya's people either. Its curved surfaces gleamed with an opalescent sheen. "What is that?" Elias asked, voice hoarse from thirst. Naya's eyes widened. "A neutral embassy." From the coalition, she turned to him, hope kindling in her amber gaze. "They're mediators between developing systems. They oversee first contact protocols. If we can reach them, ... double quotes before they could move, the air shimmered 20 feet away. 3 figures materialized tall, purple-skinned beings with features similar to Naya's but harsher, more angular. They wore armor that seemed to bend light around their bodies. Naya Vex of House Tellerin, one spoke, voice resonating oddly. "Your desertion has ended. Return the stolen intelligence." Elias stepped forward, positioning himself slightly before her. "She's not property. She's seeking asylum." The leader's gaze shifted to him, cold and analytical. "The human speaks as if it understands our matters. Naya, explain your attachment to this creature." Naya moved to stand beside Elias, her hand finding his. "He showed me what our society lacks. Compassion without purpose, connection without agenda." Her voice strengthened. "I've chosen him and Earth." "Impossible," the leader responded. "Your biology is designed for service to the collective. This deviation will be corrected." The sound of engines interrupted them as government vehicles crested the ridge behind them. Armed personnel deployed, weapons trained on all aliens present. Leading them was a woman in a dark suit, her expression severe. "Dr. Reeves," she called. "Step away from the extraterrestrial entities. We have an agreement with their government for mutual cooperation, trapped between two forces."
"That would separate."
"You're trying to locate my home system?" she said without opening her eyes. Elias looked up, startled. "How did you, my people, communicate partly through thought?" she explained, amber eyes now open and fixed on him. "I didn't mean to intrude on yours. It happens naturally when I grow closer to someone." Heat rose in Elias's face. "You can read my mind?" "Not exactly." She rose in one fluid motion and approached his desk. "Only impressions, emotions, sometimes images. The stronger my connection to someone, the clearer it becomes." Her fingers brushed his as she reached for the star chart, sending an electric sensation up his arm. Whether alien biology or something more, he couldn't say. "Here," she marked a point in space, "though you'd need better instruments to see it properly that night." They sat on the porch, watching distant lightning illuminate the mountains. Naya wore his flannel shirt, now customized with careful cuts that accommodated her different physiology. Her silver hair shimmered in the intermittent light. My people believe emotional attachment is weakness, she said softly, that it clouds judgment and compromises purpose. Elias turned to her. And what do you believe? I'm beginning to think they're wrong about many things. Her voice trembled slightly. About connection. About other species. About ... freedom. When her hand found his in the darkness, her skin was warmer than a human's, sand softer than he expected. Their fingers intertwined, purple against tan, alien against human, each crossing boundaries they'd never anticipated. If they find me, Naya whispered, your government will view you as a traitor. And if my people come, ... She couldn't finish. Elias tightened his grip on her hand. Then we'll face it together. The storm moved closer, thunder rolling through the valley like a warning. Inside the cabin, they stood facing each other in the dim light, hesitation and desire creating their own kind of electricity. I can offer you what no human woman ever will, Naya said, echoing her first desperate plea, but with new meaning. Not just knowledge or technology. Something else entirely. Her hands framed his face, those alien eyes searching his. Elias felt her consciousness brushing against his, not invasive, but inviting, offering a glimpse of her world, her feelings, her truth. When their lips met, it was like touching a star brilliant, dangerous, and impossible to resist. Her skin glowed faintly where he touched her, responding to emotions in ways human physiology never could. That night, as they discovered each other's differences and similarities beneath the sheets, neither spoke of the dangers closing in from above and below, the government teams still combing the desert, or the possibility of pursuers from beyond Earth's atmosphere. For these precious hours, they existed in a universe of their own making, one where the distance between worlds could be measured in heartbeats rather than light years. Asterisk.